absolutely nothing to do with them. That's the purpose of the book. Why Haven't I Gotten Married? Or Maybe I'm Better Off. That's the whole title. Author Rhonda Findling joins us now with more on some of the research behind her book and her message to her readers. So Rhonda, it's good to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, what an interesting topic right ahead of Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I think it's important for women to know the differences that I've explored.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's start with this. Some differences between women who've gotten married and women who've stayed single. What are they?
Well, also I just want to say that this is also just from my own observation as being a therapist. This is not an academic study. But a few things that I noticed that were pretty significant was that women who got married, when they saw a relationship was not healthy, it was not going anywhere, there was no future, they detached faster. They didn't look back and they moved on. Whereas women who remained single may have had a harder time letting go. They kept going back, ruminating about it. So the detachment amount of time of detaching is very important.
What are some of the other differences?
Well, also I noticed that women who had gotten married maybe gave men more of a chance, so that if they were dating and they didn't feel a lot of chemistry in the beginning, they would maybe go on a few dates. Whereas the women who remained single, no chemistry, crossed off the list. And also, I think that women who had gotten married also were maybe a little bit more flexible, so that if a man wasn't as educated as they like or didn't make as much money as they like, they would still give him more of a chance. Whereas single women were, no, if he can make a certain amount of money or he can have a certain amount of education, crossed off the list. So I think it had a lot to do with flexibility.
That's what I'm hearing. Flexibility is the word that comes to mind. So I want to go back to something. I mean, you also address in the book, the flip side of your title is the fact that, is it beneficial for women nowadays to even get married, or has this whole idea been idealized?
Well, I think that's also important is that women who are remaining single, a lot of them are happy, and some of the women who got married are not happy. So I can say as a therapist that a lot of married women will come see you just as much as single women. So it's not a guarantee you're going to be that happy if you do get married. So I'm suggesting that it's possible to be happy either way. They're both choices. They're both different kind of journeys. It goes by your values. The one message I would like to say for the single women is that if you are very selective and you want what you want, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying you should change and be like the women who got married, but you shouldn't feel like a victim. You shouldn't feel like, oh, it's not fair, because it's possible that the women who you're friends with who got married may have been different. They may have been more flexible. They may have compromised more. They may have, God forbid saying this, settled more. And if you don't want to be like that and you want to remain single, then accept it. That's your journey. And you know what? You're not a victim. It's just your choices that you're making in life. And
that's a good point that you mentioned that. Okay, so something, we are just a few days out from Valentine's Day, and that's when people can get the sudden urge to reach out to their exes, right? To just maybe, I don't know, poke that bear a little bit. What are your thoughts on reaching out to exes on Valentine's Day?
I'm really most famous for my books, Don't Call That Man and Don't Text That Man. So this is my total expertise. So if it's Valentine's Day and you broke up with somebody because he wouldn't make a commitment or he hurt you in some way, he cheated on you, do not contact him on Valentine's Day. Women out there, don't contact your ex on Valentine's Day, because this is when you have to stay committed to your choice to not be in contact, to not have, accepted, poor behavior. And also, most important, you don't want to put yourself in a position to feel rejected and hurt, because if you contact somebody from your past, an ex, you may end up getting hurt or rejected and humiliated, and oh my God, that's like the worst thing in the world. So just, move on, try to find, go online and go on a dating site, go on a dating app.
Yeah, so no one wants to feel that, but then you don't want to feel it on Valentine's Day of all days too, right?
That's the worst time.
That's the worst time. For sure. Okay, so some helpful information. How can we get our hands on your book, Rhonda?
Oh, they're available on Amazon and any of pretty much the digital platforms where books are sold.
Very cool. Rhonda Findling, thank you so much for coming in and sharing your thoughts on this, your message.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Good to meet you. And you can pick up a copy of Rhonda's new book, Why Haven't I Gotten Married? Or Maybe I'm Better Off, today.